All right, welcome everybody to the Midnight Sphere. And as promised, we're going to go over Ghislaine Maxwell's controversy now as the fire hose of corruption continues. Why stop when we're having so much fun, right? All right, so I got to do this quick. So I got these lined up and we're going to jump right into this. Technical difficulties.
Mr. President, the other day a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a
Well, first
person
of all,
well?
I don't know that, but I do know that
She has. She's been arrested
Don't
for
know
that.
her
what?
friend or boyfriend
Epstein.
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck.
Mr. President, the other day
And for the record, Trump has not wished any of the victims well on record that we've heard. But yeah, who, like, raise your hand if you would wish well a serial sex trafficker of minors. All right, so I just wanted to start there and get the framing, what we're dealing with, who we're dealing with here. It just put that put the question in everyone's head when that first happened. Everyone was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, that was a little off." It didn't, like, he's a kind of a weird guy, says crazy stuff, and everyone knows he's friends with her. And I think that was like almost like his out was, oh, he was friends with her. I mean, obviously he's a horrible person, shouldn't have done these things, but he's just thinking like as a friend. I don't know if I had a friend like that. I think I'd pretty much disavow and disown them. But close friends apparently.
Justice Department desperately trying to contain the MAGA fury over their self-created Epstein debacle. To do so, they are leaning on the words of Jeffrey Epstein's longtime accomplice. Today, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche went to Florida to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell.
All right, and then fast forward, and now this is happening. What could even be like the most charitable interpretation of this? That I guess they could say they're sending this deputy AG to meet with her to get more information so that when they release the files, they can corroborate what's in it with what she says, and that's how they'll decide what is credible and what's not in the files. The only problem with that is Ghislaine Maxwell has zero credibility and has not pending, but kind of has a perjury trial looming over her. I think there was supposed to be a perjury trial for her under oath, sorry, and they made that contingent upon whether or not she had a retrial for her other 5 convictions having to do with sex trafficking of minors. Like, okay, putting you away for this, and if you ever try to get any kind of retrial or anything for this, we're going to try you for the perjury charges as well, which adds a layer to what's unfolding here, as we'll get into, is like, what is the meaning? What's the motive? Is Trump trying to pardon her for some reason? What is that reason? If he pardons her, he has to pardon her for everything. Because if he pardons her just for these crimes, she immediately goes to trial for perjury. um, I guess it depends on what have you get pardoned. I guess you technically aren't getting a retrial, so she might avoid it that way. It's just sick. This is messed up. Um, so yeah, now we have this meeting happening, and think if you're being more realistic, I don't think it's to get the best evidence to corroborate with the files. We can see here she was asked questions about 100 different people. They were there to gossip and get whatever dirt they possibly could on anyone else, anything they could use, grasp at straws, any way to deflect, any way to get an alibi or an out for Trump. I don't know, get anything. I don't think they even knew what they could get. But maybe make some promises. Hey, look, help us out and maybe we can help you out. And I was thinking about this. I don't know if we could even count on like Ghislaine being any kind of like wild card where she would maybe get out, get pardoned, or beforehand do something where she takes everyone down. If she just thinks this is her way out, is to cooperate. She's just going to go along with whatever they're saying, probably, and cooperate and do what's best for her.
A lawyer for the convicted sex trafficker called it, quote, a very productive day, and thanked Blanche for, quote, being so professional. Now, we should mention, Todd Blanche has called that same lawyer a friend in the past and appeared on a podcast with him last year to discuss Trump's criminal trial. While Blanche seeks information from Maxwell, it is important to highlight her lack of credibility. In 2020, prosecutors in Trump's Justice Department argued, quote, Maxwell's willingness to brazenly lie under oath strongly suggests her true motive has been and remains to avoid being held accountable for her crimes. Just this morning, Senator Chuck Schumer derided.
So what's even the point of any of this? If anything comes from this where she is pardoned or commuted or anything, and it's because of what she said in that room, after we know she is lied under oath and has a pending trial for perjury, we've reached a new low. I mean, that is shameless, brazen corruption and a cover-up.
The meeting as a glaring conflict of interest.
There is every reason to fear that Donald Trump could offer Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon in exchange for silence or even worse, phony exoneration.
The Trump Justice Department desperately trying to contain the MAGA fury over their
Yep, that would be crazy. I mean, I still have people in my circle who the other day, meaning everything we know now, they knew, tell me, well, hey, well, when they come out, there's proof, right? I mean, do you have proof yet? And it's like, okay, even if there's nothing in those files, you still have to question the back and forth on it being a hoax and being real, them not being real, the attempt to cover it up. Jeffrey Epstein, are you talking about Jeffrey Epstein? You should have some questions about that. You just as a normal human being who can read body language and read other people to some degree, you should know something is wrong there. So I wanted to see this. Luke Beasley's talking about this, and he's like, okay, well, how would anyone, if they had to, in a worst case scenario, a gun to their head, they got to come up with a way to make sense of this to MAGA world and start getting the spin on it, which you would think it'd be impossible. It sounds like skill level, difficulty level impossible. Well, sorry. A lot of technical difficulties today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Who was caught up in his crime wave. The reason I think that is the people close. We have here.
All right,
she just might be a victim. She just might be. there was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right. Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's.
I never want to hear anything about Law and Order, tough on crime, anything about the victims. This is such a. Imagine you're one of these victims. You got to listen to this guy say the person who trafficked you is the victim.
Apparently not good, but she's in jail.
Apparently not
This is
good.
why they're going straight to the source and why this is so powerful. If anybody actually has the information of what has happened around Jeffrey Epstein, it's not going to be some James Comey created file. It is going to be Ghislaine Maxwell.
So Charlie Kirk, if you didn't know, is state media now. He's openly said on his show, I'm going to trust the administration. I'm going to trust the government. Okay, so you're just not an independent report. Now you're just following their line. You just heard him repeat the Comey written files. Like, I guess, like, because, yeah, these were written under, well, he was the FBI director. The way they're wording this is super slimy, to say the least.
She hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good.
Apparently.
The victims, I think, would like to have a word.
Well, I mean, I think you just.
Yeah. So, we have Mike Johnson here, who's been going just been a human shield. He's been going along with everything. He went along with the line about how the Democrats didn't do anything when they were in office, which anyone who's seen anything I've done is no, that drives me crazy. You're criticizing the Democrats for not releasing this information. If the Democrats were to respond to that and say, "Oh, you know what? Good point. It should be released. You're right." Then what? They're saying you're right. They should have released him. So let's release him. Then what? It's such a nothing. It's literally meant just to get them to the next sentence or the next question. That's all it is. It's not meant to make sense. It's just to survive a question. Yeah, so what does he say? This is talking about a pardon. That would be up to the president, Massey said. Oh, sorry, Massey. So Representative Ro Khanna, D. California, Thomas Massey, a Republican from Kentucky, introduced a bipartisan measure to force the Trump administration's hand in releasing the federal government files. Also, amid the press, the pair split on pardoning Maxwell. That would be up to the president, Massey said. But if she has information that could help us, then I think she should testify. Let's get that out there. Zero credibility, but yeah, let's get all her information. Everyone trusts her information. Maxwell's lawyer came out real strong, saying she just came out and told so many truths that were so honest and truthful. They're really trying to ham fist in this. She's totally cool, guys. And whatever they need to do to compel that testimony, as long as it's truthful, I would be in favor of. Khanna disagreed, saying she shouldn't receive a pardon. Obviously, what? The way this is presented, some people think she should have a pardon, some think she shouldn't. Look, I agree with the congressman that she should testify, but she's been indicted twice on perjury. This is why we need the files. This is why we need independent evidence. Oh, my God. It's crazy. Wonder what Teresa Helm thinks about this. She was 22 years old when she says Ghislaine Maxwell groomed her and she was sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein.
Be given some kind of leniency, maybe even a pardon. What would that mean to you?
I am concerned about that, and it would mean the complete crumbling of this justice system. that should first and foremost stand for, fight for, and protect survivors. We all deserve a pathway to justice, and then we don't deserve to have it yet again robbed from us because so much has already been taken. It truly does seem, I should say, just an upside down world where you are promised and there are declarations of the judicial system working to support pathways to justice, and for them just to simply crumble is what it appears is happening right now.
Yeah, nailed it. The only reason that Trump isn't in jail is because he has all his supporters, and he's just super corrupt and does everything he can to skirt the law, obstruct, lie. So yeah, I mean the timeline is crazy, and whatever happens with this, it's almost like me and the many others are setting themselves up to be in a situation where like no matter what we're right, but it's just so hard to see a different outcome where either she gives them information, he commutes or pardons her, and then we're supposed to just trust that she gave accurate information and exonerates Trump, and he was trying to cover all this up for what? Then why do all of his previous actions lead to that? All his previous actions lead to him trying to avoid these files coming out, which we're going to exonerate him. That seems like a bit of a non sequitur. Um, or they meet and she's not pardoned, and they try to use that information themselves, but she gets nothing out of it. We've already seen stuff being leaked, like the 50th birthday album. Does she have anything else to scare them with? They don't do anything for her. Then maybe I don't know, maybe she has something she can release and do more damage with. If the least they can offer her is a retrial, which I don't know if that's even possible, but who knows anymore in this timeline. You got to remember, she could say she gets retrialed and say she's found like innocent somehow, or just not guilty at least. She would then have to be retrialed for perjury, and she's the perjury charges look pretty serious and pretty solid. Might be kind of tough. It might be a tougher charge to land on people, but I mean, from what I've seen, it's the only reason she hasn't been charged with it because they just want to put her away for this, and they have that as a contingency for a retrial. So yeah, just totally wild. It seems like a conspiracy, like we're living in a conspiracy world. But yeah, I guess we are. And I always feel like I have to add this. Like, there's plenty of conservative people in my life that I love, and they're good people, and they're just confused on this. And it's going to be hard just to know like people who supported this. Just want to shake them, wake them up, get woke. Maybe don't say that to them. All right, guys. Well, I just want to cover that real quick. Super crazy, and all we can do is just sit and wait with bated breath and to see what comes of this. Which way is it going to go? I pray she is not pardoned or commuted. That would be a completely disgusting miscarriage of justice. That would be such a slap in the face to the victims. And then the double whammy of Trump somehow being exonerated because of it would be just grossly unjust. All right. Thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, request. You guys comment something, or it could be music, video, movie, TV show, whatever. I'm down to check stuff out. Can do a